led to AIDS.
That crisis was ignored because of stigma, shame, and misinformation.
But activists and communities all over the world rose up.
From New York to Nairobi,
Johannesburg to Jakarta.
They organized,
educated,
and demanded action.
They forced governments and scientists to pay attention.
And the world came together in solidarity, and millions
of lives.
Millions of lives have been saved.
Today, over 40 million people all around the world are living with HIV.
Thanks to science, courageous leadership, community strength.
Over 30 million of us are on life-saving treatment.
In 2015, the world set a goal to end AIDS as a public health threat by 2030, spreading hope.
Spreading hope around the world.
But with severe cuts in funding from multiple countries,
the goal will soon be out of reach.
Discrimination and criminalization
are pushing people even further from care.
And services are disappearing overnight.
While many countries already overwhelmed by debt can't step in fast enough.
Without urgent action, we will slip backwards. We are already seeing drastic cuts to HIV prevention and treatment programs.
Cuts to services that are keeping people alive.
If funding is not restored, UNAIDS estimates that it could lead to 4.2 million more unnecessary
preventable
deaths by 2029.
These cuts are political choice that will cost lives.
Let's not slip backwards.
We can end AIDS by 2030 if we fund the global HIV response.
We have new medicines. We're on the edge of a breakthrough.
But only if everyone has access to it.
No one should be left behind because of who they are or where they live.
A generation of young people living with HIV are counting on us.
And we're counting on them. They are the world's hope.
Hope needs funding.
Action needs courage.
And no country can do this alone.
This is a moment to rise to the occasion and act in global solidarity.
The world must stand together to end AIDS.
To end AIDS.
To end AIDS.
To end AIDS
by
2030.
2030.
Family, let's settle in today, because this story is one of legacy, resilience and truth-telling. Once again, Prince Harry has shown the world exactly who he is, a man of compassion, courage and commitment. Despite the storms of criticism, despite the attempts to smear his name and derail his mission, Harry continues to rise above the noise, just as his mother, the late Princess Diana, taught him to. This time, the Duke of Sussex has stepped right back into the heart of global health advocacy by joining forces with world leaders and icons like Magic Johnson and Charlize Theron in a powerful new UNAIDS campaign. The message is urgent. Without action, we risk sliding backwards in the fight against HIV and AIDS. Let's pause right here, because think about what that means. Harry could easily have walked away after the nonsense that unfolded earlier this year with Sentebale. The organisation he co-founded poured nearly 2 decades of his heart into and grew into a beacon of hope for children in Lesotho and Botswana. He could have said, "You know what? I've done enough." But that's not who Harry is. Instead, he doubles down. He looks at the crisis. He looks at the children. He looks at the communities who depend on leadership, and he says, "No, I will not abandon them." That, my friends, is leadership. That is integrity. Now, in this powerful UNAIDS video, Harry said something that should shake policymakers and governments awake. He warned, "Without urgent action, we will slip backwards. We are already seeing drastic cuts to HIV prevention and treatment programs." Let that sink in. The progress made over decades, progress that cost lives, sweat and tears, now threatened because of budget cuts, political games and neglect. And here comes Harry reminding the world that this isn't just about statistics. It's about babies still being born with HIV because their mothers lost access to treatment. It's about millions more who could become infected, millions more who could die if we fail to act. Charlize Theron added a chilling figure. Without restored funding, 4.2 million preventable deaths could occur by 2029. But Harry went further. He spelled it out plainly. Abandoning this fight now would be a devastating betrayal. And doesn't that sound exactly like something Diana would have said? She too stood against the tide of stigma, against the fear-mongering, against the whispers and cowardice of those who didn't want to touch the issue. Diana showed the world the power of love when she embraced AIDS patients, breaking the cruel myth that HIV could spread through touch. That single act shifted minds and hearts forever. And here we are, decades later, with her son carrying that same torch, refusing to let progress be erased. Now, let's talk about Sentebale, because you know the haters in the British press will try to spin this. They'll try to drag Harry's name through the mud and paint the collapse of his patronage as some kind of personal failure. That's their favourite game. Twist the facts, plant seeds of doubt, smear the Sussex name. But here's the truth the tabloids won't print. Harry and Prince Seiso of Lesotho built Sentebale from nothing. They took an idea, a promise to honour the children of Lesotho, and grew it into a global powerhouse that served over 100,000 young people across southern Africa. Children living with HIV, orphans, and those battling mental health challenges found not just help, but hope. That is Harry's legacy. So when drama erupted within the boardroom, when accusations started flying from the current chair, Dr. Sophie Chandoka, claiming bullying and harassment, Harry didn't hide. The Charity Commission stepped in, investigated thoroughly, and what did they find? Nothing. No systemic bullying, no misogyny, no misogynoir, no abuse of power, that's the fact. Yet the damage to Sentebale's reputation had already been done. And Harry, ever the man of honour, stepped down with dignity. And let me say this loud and clear. It is shameful, absolutely shameful, that internal disputes and power struggles have now put the most vulnerable children at risk. Harry himself said it best. The consequences of the current chair's actions will not be borne by her, but by the children who rely on Sentebale's support. That's why Harry is pivoting. That's why he's finding new ways to continue supporting those children, because unlike the boardroom bickerers, he never lost sight of the mission. Now compare that to the haters. The same media that jumps up to celebrate every misstep, real or imagined, when it comes to Harry and Meghan. The same bitter voices that love to sneer. What do the Sussexes actually do? Well, here's your answer. They save lives. They fight for justice. They stand up when others back down. While the so-called working royals in London are busy attending ribbon cuttings and staged photo ops, Harry is out here with Magic Johnson and Charlize Theron, calling governments to action on the global stage. And speaking of Meghan, let's not forget her role. She has stood by Harry's side, supporting his work, amplifying causes and using her own platform to elevate humanitarian efforts. The haters want to erase her, pretend she's not part of this journey, but we know the truth. Meghan and Harry are a team. Everything they do with love, partnership and a shared commitment to making the world better for Archie, Lilibet and generations to come. Now let's step back and look at the bigger picture. Why do these smears keep happening? Why do we keep seeing this coordinated effort to attack Harry and Meghan? It's simple, because their authenticity, their compassion and their independence expose the emptiness of those who remain trapped in the toxic palace system. Harry isn't controlled, Meghan isn't silenced, and that terrifies the establishment and their tabloid mouthpieces. But here's the good news. The truth shines through. UNAIDS didn't call William. They didn't call Kate. They didn't call Charles. They called Harry. Why? Because he has credibility. He has history. He has lived this work for nearly 20 years, and that's something no smear campaign can erase. Family, this is why we continue to stand strong behind Harry and Meghan. This is why we will not let the lies drown out the truth. Because every time Harry steps onto that stage, whether it's at Invictus, at the UN or in a UNAIDS video, he is proving the haters wrong. He is showing that his mother's legacy is alive and thriving, not in the gilded halls of Buckingham Palace, but in the hearts of those he uplifts across the globe. So, the next time you hear the British media or one of those YouTube gossip channels try to drag Harry and Meghan down, remember this moment. Remember Harry's words. Remember the children of Lesotho. Remember Diana's courage. And remember that the Sussexes are still here, still fighting, still leading, while their detractors are stuck repeating the same tired lies. And let me end with this. If Harry can stand tall against billion-dollar media empires, against palace politics, and against corruption within charities, then we, the Royal Sussex Squad, can stand with him. We can share the truth. We can amplify the work, and we can remind the world that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are not defined by scandal, they are defined by service. So family, if you value this message, if you believe in truth, dignity, and the legacy of Princess Diana living on through her son and daughter-in-law, then I ask you, subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, and support our work through Super Thanks. Together, we will keep the Sussex legacy alive, keep calling out the lies, and keep celebrating the light that Harry and Meghan bring to this world. Prince Harry continues Princess Diana's HIV activism in new UNAIDS campaign after Sentebale fallout. The Duke of Sussex joined forces with Magic Johnson, Charlize Theron and more. In a new video, Prince Harry has appeared in a new video with prominent global HIV advocates, including Magic Johnson and Charlize Theron. The Duke of Sussex is continuing his activism surrounding HIV/AIDS, which follows in the footsteps of his late mother. Princess Diana Harry said in the video, "Without urgent action, we will slip backwards." Prince Harry is joining forces with prominent HIV advocates to issue a stark warning. The Duke of Sussex, 41, appeared in a new video for UNAIDS alongside Magic Johnson, Charlize Theron and more to urge continued funding to prevent and treat HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, which can lead to AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, if not treated. The short film was screened at the United Nations Global Gathering in September 2025. Despite millions of lives being saved thanks to treatment, severe cuts in funding are threatening to prolong the crisis. "Without urgent action, we will slip backwards," Harry said in the video. "We are already seeing drastic cuts to HIV prevention and treatment programs." Theron said in the video that if funding is not restored, UNAIDS estimates that it could lead to 4.2 million preventable deaths by 2029. In a statement, Prince Harry said, "Right now, babies are being born with HIV due to interruptions in antiretroviral treatment for their mothers. Without urgent action to reverse these crippling funding cuts, 6 million more people will become infected with HIV, while 4 million will die from AIDS-related causes within the next 4 years. It is not just the at-risk communities that will be affected. We've proven that sustained investment saves lives and builds stronger communities," he continued. "Abandoning this life-saving work now would be a devastating betrayal of progress for the millions who depend on these essential services." Prince Harry's work in the field follows in the footsteps of his mother, Princess Diana, who was known for her crusade for HIV and AIDS awareness and her pioneering efforts to break the false stigma that casual contact can spread the disease. The Duke of Sussex has worked with several related organisations and taken 2 HIV tests in public, including one with Rihanna. Harry also established the charity Sentebali to help children affected by HIV and AIDS in Lesotho, Africa, which has one of the highest rates of HIV in the world. However, he and his co-founder, Prince Seiso of Lesotho, stepped down as patrons of Centebali earlier this year, following a fallout between Centebali's Board of Trustees and chairwoman Dr. Sophie Chandauka. A source close to the charity claimed to People that Chandauka placed the organisation under what has been characterised as financial strain. Meanwhile, Chandauka alleged that she was asked to step down after she dared to blow the whistle about issues of poor governance, weak executive management, abuse of power, bullying, harassment, misogyny, misogynoir. The Charity Commission for England and Wales began an investigation into Sentebale in April 2025, concluding 4 months later that it found no evidence of widespread or systemic bullying, harassment, misogyny or misogynoir. The Commission also found no overreach by Prince Harry or Chandauka. Centebale's former trustees said in a statement that they were disheartened by the findings and gravely concerned for the future of the charity. The current board accepted the Commission's recommendations to improve how it handles internal disputes and defines organisational roles. A spokesperson for Prince Harry said after the investigation that the report came troublingly short in many regards, primarily the fact that the consequences of the current chair's actions will not be borne by her, but by the children who rely on Sentebale's support. Centebali has been a deeply personal and transformative mission for Prince Harry, established to serve some of the most vulnerable children in Lesotho and Botswana. For 19 years, its dedicated staff and steadfast supporters have provided vital care to over 100,000 young people across southern Africa, including young people living with HIV/AIDS and those facing mental health challenges. As custodians of this once brilliant charity, Prince Seiso, Prince Harry and the former Board of Trustees helped grow Centebale from the seed of an idea to, like its namesake, a flowering force for good, the statement continued. With the original mission of Centebali firmly in mind, and in honour of the legacy he and Prince Seiso began, the Duke of Sussex will now focus on finding new ways to continue supporting the children of Lesotho and Botswana, the statement concluded. Because let's be clear, they are not just surviving, they are thriving, and they will continue to thrive as long as people like us stand up and say, enough is enough. We see the truth, we celebrate the truth, and we stand with the Sussexes. Thank you, family. Stay blessed, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next one.